Hi, good afternoon. My name is Betty Adamou, and I'll be talking about research through gaming, where one day this could be a real methodology that we could use in market research. I work for NewMR, and I have a keen interest in technological and research development, hence why I'm quite enthusiastic about this sort of gamification idea. What is research through gaming? Obviously, this is a really new concept and a new buzz in our industry. And what I can sort of define it as, it's where a company can gain data from the actions a respondent takes while playing a computer game and the way that respondent might play the game itself. And I think that's quite important there, where the way a respondent plays can be just as important as what they do. For example, you'll see later on in my slides, I'm thinking about sort of avatar-based computer games, where maybe the avatar could take, sort of a very long time choosing a brand of shampoo, and that can tell a lot about maybe what they're contemplating in terms of choosing different kinds of shampoo and things like that. So the way they play, how long they take to do certain things, can be as important. And I think what's really interesting about research through gaming is the potential for high response rates and respondent engagement, and there's the fun element of it, obviously, and a huge breakthrough in market research. But I think one quite important aspect is the scope for building communities. In a blog by Jeffrey Henning before the new year, he stressed the importance of MROCs. And Mark Ells tells us in his book, Herd, how people are generally happier in communities and how important it is. Obviously, when you play PlayStations and Xboxes, you can play against someone on the other side of the world. And when you're playing Farmville, you can play with neighbours who are controlled by real people, again, maybe on the other side of the world. So research through gaming offers a huge scope for community building and research within those communities as well. The fun theory. Can MR get more people to walk the stairs? This is a clip from a YouTube video, which is actually part of a Volkswagen advertising campaign, where they created a piano on the stairs to see if they could get more people to walk the stairs. Obviously, this is an absolutely crazy concept. I'm sure it must have cost quite a bit of money to make those stairs into a piano. But it really worked, and their research showed that 66% more people than normal chose the stairs over the escalator from the time the piano was built on the stairs. And one of the captions in the video is, "Fun can obviously change behaviour for the better." And I think that that's quite important here, because respondents, as we know, are sort of getting a little bit tired of the sort of samey looking online surveys, and by doing research through gaming can not just be fun for the respondents, but actually the people who are building the surveys and managing the surveys. So the project managers, the developers, the scripters, the consultants, I think anybody being involved would be a lot more engaged. Research through gaming can work for a number of reasons, not just that attention spans are in decline, but people generally spend hours playing computer games. But what's great about research through gaming is that you could potentially play and take part anywhere. I've got a screenshot here of my iPhone where you can see two apps, Surveys and Survey Savvy. These are survey apps where a respondent can log in and look at the points that they've earned or the amount of money built up. They can see what surveys are available then and there, see what surveys are available for them because of the area they're in at that very time. And I think that that's great, because if you can be a respondent playing a research game as an app on your phone, you could play that anywhere at any time. You don't have to obviously just be sat at your laptop as you would with an online survey sent to you via email. And something that's mentioned in the video game industry, there's a term called entertainment snacking, and that refers to players who will just play things like Angry Birds, for example, for 5 minutes here and there, and that could be while they're waiting for their dinner to be cooked, or waiting for a boyfriend, or waiting for the bus, or anything like that. And if that was a research game, just imagine how high our response rates would be if we could allow our respondents to play everywhere. Thinking about different kinds of research games, I've thought of 4 different kinds that there could be. Here you'll see sort of 4 slides that I've compiled together in one page. I've thought of avatar-based research games, or ABRGs. Here the respondent will be able to build their avatar. Obviously you've got an issue there of, are they building the avatar in their sort of real reflection, or sort of who they want to be in virtual reality, but they can build their avatar, be placed in an environment where they're forced to sort of make a choice or take an action. So it could be what phone and your avatar will choose in a sort of Apple shop, for example, or how the avatar would behave towards a charity on a street to sort of engage people in that way. And then from there, data could be collected as with a normal video game. So in video games, obviously, as the player goes on, their points are collected depending on what they do, and it could be very similar in this way as well. And then data could obviously be collected at the back end as normal. You can also have gaming as the incentive research games, or GATIGs, where the respondent can play a game, and that maybe at every sort of different level, every 5 levels, they're thrown back into a survey, and then once they've completed a few questions, go back into the game and continue as normal. Or you could have questions as mini-games, or QAMRGs, where, for example, the games are different from question to question and act as sort of elaborate flash tools. So I've got an example here of a McDonald's sign, and maybe the question would be, please sort of shoot the item that you've never tried off the McDonald's menu. Or the sort of second image there is a little man, a little avatar, and the question may be, please choose the brand of hair gel that you would be most likely to buy, and then you could move the little man over the blocks to go towards the appropriate brand of hair gel that they'd like. Or you could have social media based research games. So I've got a picture of Farmville here where, for example, you could get a respondent or the Farmville player to answer some questions, and the incentive maybe for answering those questions is more coins to play towards their Farmville game and things like that. So these are sort of different options that I've thought of there. I think something quite important to think about, though, that could probably have easily been missed but is hugely important, is game classification. Obviously, the different kind of research games that I've shown in the slide before could be appropriate for different age groups and customised towards different age groups. But then, obviously, you need to have classification for these games to show, the mothers, for example, if you're aiming it at sort of 10-year-olds or younger, that this game is safe for your child to play and is all well and good. And obviously, the way to do that is quite different from country to country. So I've done a little bit of research, and with the British form of film classification over here, you would just submit a form, send the game over, there is a fee, and then you get that back. So it could be quite costly, but I'm sure that once we think about research through gaming more in our industry, these things can be tackled and we can set up procedures for these things quite easily. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I'll be happy to take any questions.